Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving the Ford Endeavour Facelift, and look at the way this car has been parked. Now obviously not much has changed, so I had to make it a little glamorous in the start itself. So opening the engine bay right away, hydraulic struts. This is the 3.2 liter engine. There's insulation right there as well, and you can see the motor. Wow, it looks nice, doesn't it? It's a 5-cylinder unit, by the way. So let's quickly close this and let me show you the changes on the design aspect of the Ford Endeavour. So up front you get a 3-slat grille instead of a twin slat grille. Now this is a trapezoidal grille in line with Ford's latest models. The headlight gets the slight black treatment, and obviously it gets a projector, it gets an LED DRL as well, fog lights, front parking sensors, and yes, the car looks gorgeous with a big Ford logo over there. But something seems to be missing, which happens to be the headlamp washer, which has been removed by Ford in the facelift because they say not many people have been using it, so there's no point of keeping it either. Now at the front, the skid plate is now merged with the fog lamp housing, so it is one unit, which also looks quite nice as such. Meanwhile, at the side, the wheels get a change. Now they're the same 18 inches as before, 265/60, 18 inches, but the design of the wheels has been changed and it actually looks even better now. However, many people have seen my Instagram story and have polarizing opinions. Some people don't like it, some do. It also gets puddle lamps, puddle lamps, just to make it that more convenient in the night. Meanwhile, as you can see, the design remains more or less the same. The body panels haven't been reskinned, and we lost a rear number plate as well. So from the rear, it looks as good as ever. It's very simple, it's minimalistic, and not much has changed here either. Actually, nothing really has changed here at the rear because it remains the same as before. So the Endeavour has always been a good looking car. It looks like a massive truck, and it continues to look like a massive truck in the facelift as well. Let me quickly open the boot of the vehicle right away, which means I just have to, no, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to wave my foot below. Yeah, that's all I have to do. Wave my foot under the floor, or rather under the bumper, and it automatically opens. That's how cool it is. The boot is massive. Okay, now because we kept a lot of stuff on offer. By the way, you can see this bag. Ford has given us this cute little bag. Yeah, it's not cute, it's really nice actually. And this is a 7-seater. The seats have been folded. Now the party trick of the Endeavour is you can press a button to fold down or open up the seats, the last row of seats. That's really cool. There's a light placement right here, and because a lot of luggage has been stored right now, the last row of seats are unusable. There's a 12-volt charging socket right here. The spare wheel is positioned below this. Now if I want to close this, all I have to do is wave once again. It's smart enough to understand that, and close the boot as well. So yes, this new feature is kind of cool. It works nice as well. Spare wheel is positioned here right below. Yeah, and it is not an alloy, so cost cutting right there, as you can see. Let me get into the rear seat of the vehicle. Door pockets are large enough. Okay, you get this new treatment, and you can lock and unlock the doors from every possible door. Meanwhile, getting inside is easy. There's a side footstep and you climb in. The cabin is really very wide. It's massively wide, and 3 people can comfortably sit in here. There's a center armrest here as well, and this one opens, and there are twin cup holders right there too. Meanwhile, as you can see, the seat cushioning is very nice. The center person also gets an adjustable headrest, so everyone gets an adjustable headrest on offer. The last row of seats also get AC vents, but unfortunately the last row doesn't have much space for adults. It's good for children and for smaller journeys. As you can see, there's an air conditioning unit right here, and you can decide if you want the air to come up or you want the air to come down. There's a 12-volt charging socket as well, and AC vents have been placed here on either side. Meanwhile, there's a light here, and the handle to hold on to is a little ahead. I would have appreciated it if it was here, but because of airbags, I believe it's not positioned here. It gets 7 airbags. The titanium, I believe, gets 6. The titanium plus is the new variant, which gets 7 airbags, including a knee airbag on offer. So the cabin is wide, nice, comfortable. The floor is almost flat as well. Scooped out seat bag, which means there's good amount of knee room and leg room on offer. Under thigh support is also decent. Headroom is almost okay, I would say, because of the panoramic roof. My head tends to touch when I spike them, so the whole idea is not to spike them any which ways. So the overall comfort from the seats is really very nice. Like I told you, there's a magazine holder, there's scooped out seat bag as well, and the real place to be in is over there. Now you might believe that why would I say that? For starters, of course, the Endeavour is a car which offers good amount of comfort in the rear, but if you buy an Endeavour, you will enjoy driving it as well, unlike its chief competitor, the Toyota Fortuner. Now it gets request sensors on both the front doors, and it makes this sound when you keep the car on. So door pockets are large enough, actually they're decent size, and there's a dead pedal placed there. This is obviously for the fuse box. This is to open the hood of the vehicle. It gets a button here to open the boot. These are the controls for the headlights. This is for the front fog light, this is for the rear fog light, and this is obviously to increase or decrease the intensity of the instrument cluster. These are the controls for the outside rear view mirror, and these are the controls for the power windows, and this is to unlock the car, which is there on every door. 8-way power adjustable driver's seat. Now this has also come to the co-passenger, who also gets an 8-way adjustable power driver's seat. So you climb in, literally build quality is very solid, and to help you climb in is this handle placed right there. So you get a light, actually 2 lights, along with space to keep your stuff, and same is the case here as well. It gets an auto dimming inside rear view mirror. There's a sunglass holder here, but the plastic quality feels a little hard here. You can see even on the lower part of the dashboard, the plastic quality seems a little hard for my liking. But that said, it also gets push button start finally, and this 8-inch infotainment system has been updated. It gets Sync 3, which was there earlier as well, I believe, but now it's just more fluid to use. It gets a reverse parking camera. So here it is, the reverse parking camera. It gets adaptive guidelines as well, and front and rear parking sensors too. Meanwhile, the instrument cluster remains more or less the same as before. Actually, it is the same. The right cluster shows you a lot of information. You can obviously change it. On the left, you've got the fuel meter. On the right, we've got a tachometer. We can browse through various things, so you can get into off-road, and it shows you the angle of the wheels as well as the angle of the vehicle. And there is the screen which shows you the power distribution on offer, and right now it is on normal mode. It will tell you exactly what mode you are of the terrain management system. It will exactly show how much power is being channeled to individual wheels. There's a digital speedometer on offer as well. There's a tire pressure monitoring, and there's an average speed calculator as well. There's a distance to empty too. Now I can go back, I can get into various settings like trip computer, fuel economy, driver assist, as well as settings. So I can decide if I want to use a my key. The steering is only adjustable up and down. You cannot move the steering position closer to your chest or away from it, so only one-way adjustable here. Now glove box is a decent size. It's not really very big as such. There's a cubby hole right here, or rather space to keep stuff here, but there's only one USB socket here. Earlier there were 2 USB sockets along with an SD card slot along with a line in. That has been removed. Just one USB. The other USB has been moved over here. Meanwhile, one 12-volt charging socket has been removed. There's another 12-volt charging socket placed right there in this vehicle. Twin cup holders right here. Under the front center armrest, there's decent amount of space to keep your stuff. There's lumbar adjust as well for the front seats, which is a nice touch. The front seats are very good in terms of cushioning, offer good amount of support as well. You get a massive panoramic roof. Let's open that right away. So it only opens till here. It doesn't open completely, but it does bring in the airy feeling inside the cabin. Yeah, you have to press it twice to open it further. Now let me just close it, pressing this button. In fact, I can close the sun blind by pressing this button as well. Little noisy, but works brilliantly here. So like you can see, the Ford Endeavour Facelift has got a few more features, while Ford has deleted a few of these tiny features which haven't been of much use according to them. The handbrake is a physical unit. I would have really appreciated if it would have got ventilated seats and probably an electric parking brake as well. Meanwhile, over here we have 5 buttons. One is for the parking sensors, one is for traction control, one is for low range, and one is for rear locking differential, which is done electronically. And this button is for self park. It gets self park, which is a very unique feature in this vehicle. Now all these buttons are there on the steering wheel. This is for the cruise control. This one is for the ride display. Meanwhile, this one is for the audio system on offer. It gets Apple CarPlay, it gets Android Auto connectivity as well, and it's a very nice and fluid system. Let's quickly play an audio track right away. Audio quality is really nice. It gets a 10 speaker system which includes an amplifier as well as a subwoofer on offer. This is the hazard light switch of this vehicle, and in terms of overall comfort, it is absolutely sensational. You can see the hood while driving. It gives a very good view of what's around as well. And these are actually the controls for the air conditioning. This is for the audio system. Actually, this is for the volume, and this is to go through other channels in the radio. And that's not all. The cool feature about the Endeavour has to be the self park. It just works. It works very well. Obviously, this is a very large car. This is the terrain management system. Right now it is on snow. This is the normal mode. Then there's of course the snow, mud, grass mode, and this one is the sand mode. Meanwhile, this is the rock mode. In order to get into rock mode, you have to get into 4x4 low. All right, and of course this is downhill assist. It also gets hill start assist. So in terms of features, the Endeavour is not only loaded in terms of comfort, it also has plenty of good features for off-road driving. Meanwhile, it gets a dual zone climate climate control system as well. So this is actually the control for the dual zone. So I'm changing the zone on the left side and I can change the zone on the right side as well. It's a very nifty feature actually. So it's technically 3-zone, but only at the front you get climate control because the rear AC is manual in this vehicle. The horn is also very nice. It's a dual tone horn, and now it's time to get driving right away. Meanwhile, these are actually the controls for the adjustment of the outside rear view mirrors. The placement is such you really cannot see it all the time. Love the double stitching on the dashboard. It looks really very premium. So leather on the top of the dash with this beautiful white double stitching. Really nice, very well done. Let's quickly use the wipers right away to see how they work. And yes, they do offer good amount of spray and they clean the windscreen in no time at all. Dual blade wipers for the win. Let's get driving right away. Alright, we're all set to go, which means getting into drive mode, getting into sport mode, turning off traction control, turning off the air conditioning off, hazard light off, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, and 2,500 and we are off. So this is powered by the 3.2 liter diesel engine, which produces a segment best 200 horsepower and 470 Newton meters of torque. And as you can see, performance is very impressive. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes around 11 seconds. It's actually faster than the 2.2 by 1.5 seconds. The 2.2 is also a very good engine. It produces decent amount of power and torque. It doesn't feel lethargic at all. In fact, the 2.2 feels better lower down, especially in city driving, because the drivability is better on the 2.2. It produces its peak torque much before the 3.2. The 2.2 though is 1.5 seconds slower to 100. It takes almost 13 seconds to do so, but you really don't feel the difference between the 2.2 and 3.2 in terms of city driving and even out on the highway, unless and until you cross 120 kilometers per hour, because performance is more or less the same. Now the good thing about this vehicle is the refinement on offer. It's very smooth, it's very refined, and Ford uses something known as active noise cancellation. So you can see two of them up on the top. These mics, they play low frequency sounds in reverse to cancel out low frequency sounds actually, and it is extremely refined and smooth. There is some amount of lag lower down, there's a minor lag lower down, but once you get into the mid-range, it really punches hard and fast and really takes off, giving good amount of thrust on offer. And we are off. The Endeavour is a very heavy car. It weighs 2,400 kgs for the 3.2, and you simply can't feel that weight somehow. Ford has engineered it brilliantly. I mean, the handling is so great that you never ever feel the heft of the Endeavour. The steering is light at low speeds, but shockingly it weighs up brilliantly at high speeds, giving a lot of feel and feedback as well. In fact, this is one of the most aerodynamic SUVs in the segment because it offers a great amount of high-speed stability as well. Wind noise is very well contained as well, and the way it takes corners is just something else. It really bellies its weight and you can't feel anything around the corner. Yes, there's of course body roll on offer, but for a full-size SUV like the Endeavour, which is underpinned by a body on frame platform, you simply can't feel much. The tires also offer good amount of grip, but it's really off-road where it shines. It can actually go and take you places where you just can't imagine. Of course, the video is going to be coming on that really soon. Around the corners, it feels so sure-footed, and the steering is such a joy to use. Ford has always been nailing the steering wheel on every vehicle it is offering, and the Endeavour is no different. Now, this is paired to a 6-speed automatic gearbox, and we also get a manual finally in the 2.2. So the variant lineup is there are 3 variants on offer: the 2.2 with the 6-speed manual in the titanium, then there's the 2.2 with the 6-speed automatic in the titanium plus, and the 3.2 with 4-wheel drive with the 6-speed automatic in the titanium plus. So the 2.2 is available with both manual as well as automatic transmission options, but 4-wheel drive is only available with the 3.2. Yeah, you can hear the motor a bit, but it's kind of sporty and I like it. The gearbox is very enthusiastic. It revs quite a lot, and because of that, fuel economy also suffers. So this car returns a mileage of around 7 to 8 kilometers per liter in the city, going to almost 10 to 11 kilometers per liter out on the highway. The good thing is it's got a massive 80-liter fuel tank, which means the tank range is decent. However, the fuel economy isn't that great because of the weight, and of course the gearbox, which likes to rev. It absolutely loves to rev. That's how the gearbox behaves. And you can obviously take manual control of things, getting into sport mode right now, and just click on the Triptronic function and downshift, and you can obviously hold on to a gear as long as you would like. And the top end is kind of lacking. Like I told you, there's a minor lag lower down. Mid-range is really very strong, and the top end is kind of flat. It usually upshifts around 4,000 RPM. Now in manual mode, right now I'm in manual mode. Okay, let me see how much I can hold on to a gear. So we are into second gear, giving throttle. It's revving quite fast, and around 4,500 RPM is the maximum it will do. It will not upshift. In fact, it's slightly above 4,500 RPM, more like 4,700 RPM. So that is where this motor will go. Okay, I have time to say squad. and not just once. You can say that once again. Squad, and we are off. So the gearbox could have been smoother in terms of shifts. I mean, it feels kind of aggressive. It's always revving a lot, and obviously it could have been faster in terms of shifts, but then you can manually take control of things. Although I would have really appreciated if we had got steering mounted paddles. That would have been something. The ride quality on this vehicle is absolutely sensational. Yes, at lower speeds there's this lumpiness which is associated with ladder frame chassis, but once you gather pace, it just flattens out brilliantly. It absolutely feels indestructible on bad roads. Yes, you feel a thud inside the cabin, but then other than that, it just glides over the worst of roads. In fact, this is by far the best riding body on frame car I have ever driven. That's how good the Endeavour is. So on the outside it looks very tough. On the inside it feels very luxurious and comfortable. It drives extremely well. Both ride and handling balance is great, and off-road it is absolutely phenomenal. So Ford has done a great job with the Endeavour. They've made a car which is brilliant even better by giving these nifty features. Although in terms of mechanics, not much have changed. Now many of you are going to comment, where is the 2-liter turbo engine, twin turbo engine, why has it not come? Well, Ford is planning to bring that probably later this year or maybe even next year before the BS6 norms kick in, and obviously the price is going to rise, but right now for the kind of price the Endeavour is at, it certainly offers a lot of bang for the buck. Yeah, the brakes offer good stopping power, slight amount of nosedive at the front, but overall brake feel is positive as well. So this begs the question, if the Endeavour is so brilliant, why can't it outsell the Fortuner? Well, first and foremost, Indian herd mentality, and obviously the Toyota badge has a lot of luring as well, but this car is actually cheap to maintain. The cost of ownership is just 72 paisa per kilometer, which is really cheap for a car of this segment. So Ford has actually nailed the service cost as well. After sales might not be in the same league as Toyota or the resale value too, but in terms of engineering feat, this car feels way better than the Fortuner in almost every possible dimension. It feels indestructible, and honestly this is by far the best car in the segment. Sorry Toyota Fortuner, sorry Mahindra Altiras G4, and sorry Isuzu whatever that is. And before I sign off, I have to tell you that I keep launching the car from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour because it's just so much fun. The way this engine pulls is really very strong, especially in the mid-range. It puts a smile on your face. You come around the corner, you believe that will you make it, will you not? The Endeavour makes it mincemeat out of corners because it is just so smooth and composed as well. So guys, this is my review of the Ford Endeavour Facelift. Not much to talk in terms of mechanicals, but it is as good as ever. Still the very best car in the segment. And if you like this video, you know what you have to do. Give it the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Time to downshift and disappear. Yeah, the gearbox is on the slower side. It will not respond as fast as you would expect it to, but then it's a torque converter. You can't expect much, but by torque converter standards as well, it could have been faster. Bye bye.